I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. That we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out.
Good evening. Been trying to keep an eye on different things going on. It seems tensions are picking up a little bit more in international affairs, which is not a good thing. Right now is kind of an iffy time for many reasons. Number one, it seems like Iran is I don't know really how to term it, and the reason why is because I try to approach this from a fair standpoint. If I had a nation a sovereign nation, and I had other countries that just kept in on me and kept in on me and kept in on me, I'm gonna say things, you know. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of what the attitude towards Iran is because of things that they say. You know, you often hear they say "death to America" and all of that. Um, I kind of get it. I get it. So I throw that aside, and I kind of look at it for what it is. Now, their top nuclear scientist was just assassinated. And, you know, I think it's probably pretty obvious one of two nations was behind it. I'm sure it doesn't take much thought to figure that out. And that it's kind of an iffy time. Remember, you know, wasn't that long ago that Soleimani was assassinated. So that's two. Now, I don't even know if it's been a year for sure or not. I don't know how long ago it was. But nonetheless, that's got tensions up coming from their end. From our end, multiple reasons why there are increased tensions. One being, the biggest, I would say, the fact that Trump may not win this election in the end when everything's said and done. And Trump took great pride in undoing what Obama did with Iran. So that kind of, you know, this situation kind of puts Trump in a position. If he wants to maintain what he did, or better said, what he undid, then he's going to have to do something to make sure it stays that way. So, you know, just not doing anything. I think what he views, and I would assume he's probably correct, that Biden's just going to walk in and they're just going to re-sign deals or whatever. And again, everything that he did, or in fact undid, would be redid if you follow that. So, yeah, it's kind of a tense situation from our end and Iran. Obviously, Iran's not the only other country on the planet, and tensions aren't getting any better with China. I think it's, since I've talked to you, it's in the headlines. The Philippines, I think, was it the Philippines? There was a country that spoke up, and I want to say it was the Philippines, and more or less said that, well, their statement was essentially that they would be pulled into it, but, you know, at the same time, apparently, if I'm correct about the country, and it's Philippines, the country I'm referring to has had issues with Beijing, essentially. So, which is a clear indicator that they would be more likely to assist us, which is a big deal, because if you go to war, you're going to need somewhere to be able to bring things in, you know, somewhere a little closer. So that is much, much closer than we are, obviously, to China. So it'd be a good place to be able to be a good stop-off point. But, man, China, let's see. Trying to think. Seemed like something else was popping off as far as internationally with countries. But we had some shootings since we've talked. I think 3, if I'm not mistaken. It's crazy. We've had the shooting. That's here in the U.S. In other countries, there's been a fair number of terror attacks. It is strange. I've been watching the news the entire time, been tweeting it out, getting it out and stuff. So I urge you, if you don't, follow our Twitter, because even the days I don't do the show, I do put it out on Twitter. So all the headlines that I read to you, I put on Twitter, out on Twitter throughout the day. Plus, you'll be able to keep ahead on what I'm going to be doing or talking about. So, man, a lot. And of course, I haven't even brought up COVID. There's tons of stuff with that. We seem to be in a little bit of a lull, just right this moment, both nationally and here locally. So just a little bit of one now, because especially here locally, there were some pretty big numbers since we've last talked. But at least it's calmed down, at least for the last 24 hours. So let me go ahead and I'll run through the normal stuff, and I'll just get through the headlines because there is a ton of them. In fact, I didn't even get scrolled down, come to think of it. So let me go ahead and run through the normal stuff, then I will get the headlines out. So Amazon affiliate, we are at $12.99. So I do believe everything shown has shipped. So I appreciate those. That I guess another day or so, or no, 2 days before that it clear and start over at 0. But anyway, I thank you to those that participate in that. For those that don't know, we have an Amazon affiliate link in the description of the videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com right there in the top. When you click that link, it just takes you to Amazon, but it does so with our special link. And when you make purchases, those items don't cost you anything more, but it throws a little bit our way for the sale. So let's see. We also have a Teespring store. The best way to see what we have there is go to the watchmannews.com. Scroll down on the home page. We got 4 different designs currently. It's more than just t-shirts. There's coffee mugs and tote bags and stuff. So if you see a design you like, click on the image. That'll take you to Teespring, where all the other products are, and you can make your purchase there. Lastly, we have a PayPal donate link. That's in the description of the video, as well as at the watchmannews.com in the main menu. That just takes you to our PayPal donate page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can do so as a guest with a debit or a credit card, but I always let people know it says Transforming Disabilities up top, but it also says Purpose the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. All right. Let me have a sip of tea. All right. The number right now for fatal cases the last 24 hours, well, not quite 24 hours, but they're currently showing 1,703. So that's up from where it was. Yesterday, they're showing new cases at 147,831 and fatal cases. Let me make sure I'm on the last one there. At 1,156. So, we're already seeing that trend go back up. I do expect it to go back up, and I do expect it to, the entire trend to, keep going up. In fact, I would say, due to Thanksgiving, probably this next coming weekend is probably going to be some high numbers. So we'll see. I think it's gonna really explode, to be honest. Here locally, we are at 1,077. So not too awful shy from 10% of the population. So only an increase of, I believe it is 5 overnight. Hang on. I want to say 5. Oh, here it is. Yep. So 5 over the last 24 hours. But like I say, then the numbers have been kind of up and down, you know. Let's see. Okay. Let me get scrolled back here. Takes me a little bit to get back that far. And there we go. Like I say, there was quite a bit, and it's all over the place. I forgot to mention earlier, lots of protests. I mean, lots and lots of protests, all over the world. So, have a vape real quick. Alrighty, let's see. Starting with Friday's news. UK to set up pro-competition regime to rein in dominance of tech giants Facebook and Google. Resolute desk total landscaping. Trump fumes as his Thanksgiving presser goes viral over kids' table and not vote fraud message. And just a side note on that, I've watched several videos over the past couple of days. It's kind of talked about different ways that Trump could pull this off. And there was one that was very compelling, and I can't quite remember what it was called as far as the procedure, the process, the whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but essentially what would happen, I guess, is they would throw out the vote, right? And it would go to the states. And I guess each state, 50 states, would get a vote. And I guess that's how it would. I don't know what it's called, and I can't remember who it was that I watched the video. I watched quite a few videos on my days off and took in a ton of information. There was even videos I watched on COVID that I was trying to find right before I did the show here because there was a very, very, very interesting angle, and I can't remember who it was that did the video. So I'm going to look, though, because I can't remember the details, and I want to hear it again so I can remember the details a little better. But anyway, yeah, apparently there's some angles that Trump could still pull this off. So let's see. Russia strikes deal with India to produce 100 million doses of Sputnik 5 COVID-19 vaccine per year. 13 Australian soldiers received discharge notices after probe finds evidence of war crimes in Afghanistan. Venezuela continues selling oil to China despite U.S. sanctions, says a report. Beijing slaps up to 212% tariffs on Australian wine in response to price dumping. 4 Iranians on trial in Belgium over suspected France bomb plot in European first. Let's see. Pope pins op-ed on perils of consumerism and ideology. U.S. left reads Justice ACB is bad Catholic and a horrible person. Okay. Still on Friday's news, by the way. Hackers from North Korea attacked drug companies working on COVID-19 vaccines, says a Seoul official. Russia says International Space Station is falling apart and may have to abandon early plans to go it alone on replacement. Kind of don't blame them there. Our position is rock solid. Hungarian PM refuses to compromise over EU budget veto. Sturgeon throws red meat to party faithful, critics say, slamming talk of Indy Ref 2 as COVID and economic woes persist, if you can decipher that. Indian Navy MiG-29K crashes into sea. 1 airman rescued. Search for missing pilot underway. This again, Friday. Oil pirates are dangerously close to U.S. waters. Driving Russia further into China's arms. Incidents like John McCain warship incursion near Vladivostok counterproductive for the U.S. Let's see. Macron reportedly very shocked by video of French police beating up black man during arrest. Officer suspended amid outrage. And you're gonna hear several headlines regarding this. Mayor of Novosibirsk defends decision to shape city's main ice rink like a penis for a second consecutive year. Washington tells Deutsche Bank to wind up its business in Russia. That is kind of interesting. And would also I would say indicate Washington thinks Biden's going to be president. I would think. Just a guess. London asks regulator to assess Oxford/AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine amid concerns over trial's robustness. New Delhi police asked to convert stadiums into prisons as Indian capital grapples with thousands-strong farmer protest. Turkey says EU call for sanctions over Cyprus disconnected from reality. Authoritarianism at work. Tory MPs attack Boris Johnson COVID tears plan. Taiwan lawmakers throw pig guts during parliament session to protest meat imports from the U.S. Knife-wielding woman kicks and harasses Vienna rabbi in widely condemned anti-Semitic incident. Medical records of Brazilian president among 16 million COVID-19 patients exposed after passwords published online, says a report. Wales announces new COVID restrictions as earlier gains from firebreak lockdown begin to fray. Russia working on massive oil project to boost country's position in the Arctic. Embarrassment for Belarusian opposition figurehead. I never can say her name either. Tikhanovskaya, I can't do that. As she claims Biden meeting invite before her team backtracks. China to charge 12 anti-government protesters caught fleeing Hong Kong in a speedboat. That's kind of interesting, by the way, this story here, because it kind of seemed like Trump backed Lukashenko, and it seemed like Lukashenko backs Trump. So that is interesting. From airport to vaccination hub, Berlin retrofits closed down facilities to fight COVID-19. 6 U.S. oil executives convicted in Venezuela on corruption charges. Hot on the heels of Sputnik 5, Russia's second COVID-19 vaccine, Epivac Corona, set for release in December, says developers. Lukashenko drops bombshell by announcing intention to leave Belarusian presidency once new constitution is adopted. This is what communist countries do. Trump lashes out at Twitter for suspension of state senator following voter fraud hearing. We're still on Friday, by the way. Swedish police pull episode of reality TV after viewer complaints about children crying during father's arrest. North Korea's Kim locked down Pyongyang and banned sea fishing amid COVID fears, says South Korea intelligence service. Iran's Ministry of Defense confirms assassination of research chief who allegedly ran state nuclear program. That's what I was talking about. Still on Friday. California megachurches rebrand as family-friendly strip clubs to protest state's COVID-19 restrictions. Tell you what, they're getting crafty with their ways around these laws and stuff. But it's ridiculous that we live in a world that you have to even be that way. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to have to dance around 5 million little stupid laws. You know? None of us. Let's see. Act of state terror. Iran's FM accuses Israel of having role in assassination of key nuclear scientist. Trump says Biden can only move into the White House if he proves his votes weren't illegally obtained. Belgium culls 151,000 chickens after Europe's latest bird flu outbreak on farm near French border. UK to test gout drug colchicine, I'm not sure how that's said, as potential treatment for severe COVID-19 cases. More than half of UK adults say Black Lives Matter movement increased racial tensions, says a poll. And I find that interesting. I just find it interesting. More information needed. WHO says it needs more than just press release to assess AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine. Criminal Act, ex-CIA chief urges Iran to wait on return of responsible U.S. leaders before reacting to nuclear scientist killing. Chinese academics say coronavirus spread in India months before Wuhan outbreak, which is very, very interesting. There was suspicion that it was in Italy much longer than before Wuhan. So, or at least before we found out about it in Wuhan. And the other thing is this one right here. This ex-CIA chief, John Brennan, he's urging Iran to wait, for return of responsible leaders. I'm telling you, they plan to redo what Trump undid and then probably add a little more on top. And again, I think it's important to approach this from a fair viewpoint. And I just want to mention this. I applauded when Trump reached out to North Korea. I thought that was incredible. I thought that was amazing. I applauded it. Why don't we do the same? What the hell? Let's stop with the games of, oh, well, they sponsor terrorism. Oh, yeah? They the only ones? What the hell have we been doing since 2001 and before? But, on the daily since 2001. Terrorism, man. It doesn't change just because it's not at home. So, it just sucks that when the countries that are committing the terrorism are much larger than your own. But anyway, I'm concerned that Trump is going to do something, right? And I can definitely see a possible Hegelian dialectic here, as well as a potential false flag. Because now the reasoning is set up, right, as to why Iran would do something. So keep your eyes peeled on it. Mossad at work, ? Twitter explodes with speculation of U.S. and Israeli involvement after killing of top Iranian scientists. Hang on a second. All right. Sorry about that. A federal appeals court rejects Trump campaign's Pennsylvania voter fraud lawsuit. Supreme Court could be next. Iran vows severe revenge for assassination of nuclear scientist as UN chief urges restraint. Iran creates judicial committee to track down and punish Soleimani assassins mere hours before murder of top nuclear scientist, okay? Again, crazy. And was this assassination a result? I mean, you know what I mean? Was this a tit for tat? I have no idea. Still on Friday, by the way. Iran warns U.S. and Israel against any adventuristic measures, especially during Trump's remaining time in office, says a letter to the UN. Los Angeles residents ordered to stay at home until Christmas week, with all gatherings banned except for church and protests. A Nimitz carrier group returns to Persian Gulf after drills and pre-planned move not related to Iranian scientist murder, says a report. A U.S. Now we're to yesterday, Saturday. U.S. Justice Department amends federal execution rules to allow death by hanging, electric chair, gas chamber, and firing squad. So that is not really good. Now, I am shocked that they didn't add guillotine. To be honest, I'm shocked they didn't add it. Milwaukee County recount nets Biden 132 more votes after Trump campaign pours $3 million into Wisconsin election audit. A million plus votes created out of thin air in Pennsylvania. Trump says retweeting local GOP senator's claim of alleged fraud. Iranian president points finger at Israel after assassination of top military scientist near Tehran. Masks on busy streets and at work. Ireland issues stricter guidelines on face coverings ahead of holiday season. A rally against French bill outlawing sharing images of police dispersed with tear gas in Nantes. Better health, less pressure on NHS. 2.5 million vulnerable people to get free supply of vitamin D in England. Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei pledges to firmly prosecute those behind assassination of top military scientists. OPEC Plus likely to prolong existing oil cuts despite rising prices, says the media. Beijing powers up first domestically built nuclear reactor, construction of 6 more underway at home and abroad. McKinsey told OxyContin producer to pay off distributors for every attributable overdose, court papers show, says a report. As official data warns of rising poverty levels, Russia's Black Friday spending doubles compared to 2019. That is very interesting. I don't think ours did so hot. Chinese private corporate giants rocket in value despite COVID-19 pandemic. Boris Johnson names Business Minister Nadhim Zahawi top UK official responsible for vaccine deployment. Important to preserve scope for talks with Iran. Germany warns against escalation after killing of top Iranian scientist. We're still on yesterday. Shell must pay nearly $500 million for oil spill in Nigeria, a court rules. COVID-19 driven recession may see Russian economy contract by 4.5%, and 1 million plunged into poverty, says finance guru Kudrin. Pennsylvania GOP introduced resolution to appoint Trump-friendly electors based on mounting evidence of voter fraud. Russian prosecutors intervene after newspaper kiosk found selling souvenir Hitler stamps in a city occupied by Nazis in World War II. Arrests made as anti-lockdown protesters march in London, defying police warning to obey COVID-19 restrictions. Thousands of protesters march in France against security law that bans filming police. And yeah, apparently that law goes a lot further than just that. It's nuts. Well, this doesn't happen every day as Roma call in the bomb squad as unexploded World War II bombs found at training ground. In the war on whistleblowers, Snowden slams BS smear from GOP politician that he and Assange are Russian agents. Navalny uses meeting between EU officials and pro-West Russian opposition figures to call for sanctions on Russian oligarchs. At least 3 dead in Italy's Sardinia as island hit with severe flooding. We have massive proof. Trump vows appeal in Pennsylvania and new case in Wisconsin in election fraud tweet storm. Syria condemns Zionist terror attack on science as Israel says it has no clue who was behind Iranian scientist murder. Paris protesters torch cars, set bank on fire amid clashes over bill slammed as ban on filming police brutality. Let's see. From last night, aliens took it back. Utah monolith mysteriously disappears, possibly stolen at night. Now, somebody had made a video that I'd watched about this, and they had an image, and it wasn't, nothing was there, and I don't know if this is true or not. There was something entirely different there. Now, whether that was Photoshop or whether that is what truly happened, I don't know. But if that was really put there, the object, it looked like a bunch of stacked stones, and then it had a metal triangle that was held up on the very top, that was held up on edge in the stones, and the triangle looked like it would be the perfect size to be the cap of the monolith. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know, again, if it was a Photoshop job or what, but I thought that was interesting. Indians' appetite for gold grows. Its price per metal hangs near multi-month low. We're on today's news, by the way. Let me grab a sip of tea. Alrighty, let's see. Pennsylvania Supreme Court tosses lawsuit demanding rejection of all 2.5 million mail-in votes, says no evidence of fraud. Car bomb kills 30 troops at Afghan base. Down here it says 26, so that may have been updated. Construction of Russia's Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline to restart next month. A UK Foreign Secretary optimistic about Brexit deal, says talks with the EU in reasonable position. Participant in India's AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine trial sues after experiencing severe adverse effect. Australia vows to drag China to WTO over barley tariffs amid mounting trade tensions between the two nations. South Wales police branded COVID-19 Stasi after preventing couple from delivering Christmas gifts to a family. I'm sure to their family. Iraq does not want to be exempt from OPEC Plus deal as oil exporters close to keeping output curbs. English farm to cull 10,500 turkeys as concern grows over wave of bird flu from Europe. More drones and police patrolling French beaches under new UK-France deal to curb illegal immigration. Air passenger traffic won't return to pre-pandemic levels until 2024 at the earliest, the IATA warns. A Ukrainian journalist attacked on air, channel called fascist at memorial for Soviet-era famine victims. And I thought this was kind of interesting too. And for some reason, when I saw this headline, the thought that instantly hit my mind is think about one hell of a way to really be able to stir up, with a lot of people at one time. If you wanted to stir up a lot of people at one time in a country, okay, you would obviously have to be seen doing something by a bunch of people in that country. Think about that. So I don't know anything about this situation, but I'm just saying, it may not be instigated from within their own country. That's what I'm getting at. Hungarian cultural commissioner lights powder keg of controversy after describing Europe as George Soros's gas chamber. That is a pretty serious statement. So man. Remember that guy's name. See if he's alive in 6 months. The UN says at least 110 killed in suspected Boko Haram attack in Nigeria, where many victims were beheaded. Dependent Germany overestimates its power by insisting it will deal with Russia from a position of strength, says Moscow. 4 French police officers go before judge over video of them beating black man, says a report. And I know there's another update to that, I do believe. Western scientists divided over Russian COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik 5 as developers aim to make 1 billion doses in 2021. Protesters and police clash in Belarus days after embattled President Lukashenko promises he'll stand down, but not yet. Trump says FBI and DOJ missing in action on alleged voter fraud in first post-election interview. British Army spies wage information war against anti-vax content online, says a report. That's an important headline to remember. Russian rapper Basta, I don't know if it's Basta or Basta, denies wrongdoing after footage of packed concert venue sparks COVID-19 fears. 4 French officers indicted, 3 placed on pre-trial detention after black music producer brutally beaten in Paris. That was the other update. I think that's the last one on that incident so far. Panic as Indonesian volcano erupts, sending ash and smoke into the air. ISIS claims responsibility for rocket attack on Iraqi oil refinery. It's going to get worse. Fauci and other health officials warn of likely coronavirus surge coming into the U.S. during the holiday season. Killing of top Iranian nuclear scientist. Reported versions change from 12-person commando squad to remote-controlled machine gun. Election investigation coming. FBI said to be requesting data on potentially fraudulent ballots. Australian authorities seize child, rule parents abusive for resisting hormone therapy to help daughter become son, says a report. A New York City mayor reopens elementary schools under pressure from parents, but hints no return to norm without vaccine. UAE and Jordan condemn assassination of Iranian nuclear physicist, and urge restraint by all parties to avoid escalation. So see, even yet, the calls for calm are coming in. And yeah, I mean, we could get thrown into something really quick when it comes to Iran. I mean, really quick. All it would take would be a false flag. That's all it would take. or even a real event, not necessarily even a false flag, even a real event. But I would be suspicious of anything happening. I really would. Let's see. And lastly here, Joe Biden received hairline fractures in his foot and will likely require a walking boot for several weeks, says a physician. I didn't put out that headline. Yeah, apparently he messed up his ankle or something. That was a headline earlier, and I didn't put it out with the headlines because I thought, really? I mean, is it really news? But then when that came out, it's like, okay, well, I'll give and at least put it in the news. I mean, got a hairline fracture. I mean, but anyway, I don't think there's any more headlines. Nope, none. I think I am going to get out of here for the night. Maybe cut a little bit early. Normally I try to get an hour in, but man, I'm telling you, I'm tired. I'm hurting, and it's Monday for me. So anyway, I am gonna get out of here, and I hope everybody has a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.